Nature is in a constant state of change. Trees grow taller, flowers bloom, grass spreads across the land. But have you ever wondered how? It's truly fascinating to think about how nature has the power to transform over time. What starts as an empty, barren field, with nothing but soil and open space, can gradually evolve into a thriving, complex ecosystem. Over time, plants take root, animals find shelter, and an intricate web of life begins to form. Before you know it, that once empty land is teeming with biodiversity, filled with towering trees, colorful flowers, and countless species working together in harmony, just like this one. Now, let's take a closer look at why this happens. When we zoom in on a growing organism at the microscopic level, we can observe a fascinating process known as mitosis. This is the mechanism by which cells divide and multiply, allowing the organism to grow, repair damaged tissues, and maintain overall function. Without mitosis, life as we know it wouldn't be possible. So let's explore this process in more detail and understand how it plays a crucial role in the development of all living things. Mitosis is the process by which cells divide to create identical new cells. It happens in all multicellular organisms, including you and me, but it's especially important in plants, where growth never stops. Think about it. When you plant a tiny seed, how does it transform into a towering tree? The answer is millions, even billions, of cells multiplying through mitosis. In simple terms, mitosis happens in several steps. First, in prophase, the cell's DNA condenses into chromosomes, and the nuclear membrane starts to break down. Then in metaphase, the chromosomes line up in the middle of the cell. Anaphase follows, where the chromosomes are pulled apart, ensuring that each new cell gets a complete copy. Finally, in telophase, the cell splits into two, forming two identical daughter cells. In our Biology 110 lab, we had the chance to see mitosis in action. We used garlic root tips, which contain actively dividing cells, to stain and observe the different stages of mitosis under a microscope. Let's break down the steps we followed. We started by cutting about 1 centimeter of actively growing root tips from a garlic plant. Why the root tips? Because they're one of the fastest growing parts of the plant, meaning they have a high number of cells undergoing mitosis at any given moment. Next, we place the root tips into a fixative solution, a mix of enol and acetone. This step stops all cell activity in place, preserving the structures just as they were in that moment after 3 minutes. We transferred the root tips into a watch glass and added a few drops of hydrochloric acid. The acid helps break down the cell walls, making it easier to squash the tissue later so we could see individual cells. We then washed the root tips carefully with water and added a special stain called gentian violet. This dye binds to DNA, making the chromosomes visible under a microscope. After soaking for 3 minutes, we rinsed off the excess stain. Now came the delicate part. We placed a root tip onto a glass slide, added a drop of distilled water, and covered it with a cover slip. To spread out the cells, we used the eraser end of a pencil to gently squash the root tissue. Pressing too hard could break the cells, but pressing too lightly wouldn't separate them enough to see mitosis clearly. Once the slides were ready, we placed them under a microscope and adjusted the focus. At lower magnification, we could see the whole root tip, but zooming in, we found individual cells at different stages of mitosis. Growth is just one part of the story. Mitosis isn't only about making plants taller, it's about survival. Plants rely on mitosis to heal wounds, regrow damaged parts, and adapt to their environment. When a plant is injured, whether by an animal, a storm, or human activity, it doesn't just sit there. Cells around the wound start dividing rapidly, replacing the damaged tissue and sealing the wound. This is the same reason why trees can survive losing branches or why grass grows back after being stepped on. This regenerative power is what keeps forests recovering after wildfires and allows plants to spread across landscapes. Without mitocess, nature itself wouldn't be able to heal. Mitocess isn't just important for plants, it's critical for all living organisms. In humans, mitocess is what helps us grow, heal from injuries, and maintain our bodies. Every time you get a cut or scrape, mitocess kicks into action, generating new skin cells to repair the wound. This same process is being studied in regenerative medicine. Scientists are exploring ways to harness mitocess to repair damaged organs, grow new tissues, and even develop potential treatments for conditions like spinal cord injuries. Mitocess is also at the heart of cancer research. Cancer occurs when mitocess goes wrong, when cells divide uncontrollably, forming tumors. Here is an animation of cancer cell multiplying in the pancreas. By studying mitocess, scientists are finding ways to stop cancer cells from multiplying while still allowing healthy cells to grow. Mitocess is one of the most fundamental processes in life. It allows plants to grow, animals to heal, and ecosystems to thrive. Whether in a towering tree or in the cells of your own body, mitocess is happening every second, ensuring life never stops moving forward. The next time you see a tree stretching toward the sky or a flower blooming in spring, remember, deep inside, a microscopic world is at work, making it all possible. I want to thank my BIAL 110 instructors, classmates, and DKU for making this learning experience possible. And, of course, the nature itself for being the best classroom of all.